Hi everyone, it's Daniel here. Today I'll be reviewing another album and something different today. I'm going to be reviewing one of my own albums and I'll be talking about Colours by the Beams of Light. So yeah, since this album hasn't come out on physical yet, I'm going to leave the front cover up here. Very yeah, very nice album cover. Work of art. The blue's beautiful. Yeah, so I'm going to leave the album cover up here for you to see, and yeah, hope you like it. It took me a long time, but getting like the text all like different colours, colours of the rainbow, that sort of thing. But it does all blend in well with the blue, I think it's a beautiful album cover, so yeah, I'm proud of it. Wouldn't do one like it again, but just shows, don't it, how great I am at art. So yeah. Yeah, and then in a second I'm going to show you what the back cover would look like. So yeah, when it comes out in physical, this will be the back cover. Hope you like it. I know it's me with my granddad's hat, walking into the distance. Yeah, walking to nowhere, I know. But yeah, I love it. I love the colours, and it was a lot easier than the front cover. So yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about the like the production, how everything started, how the songwriting, came to be, how the songs came into my head and whatnot, and like how production, got started and whatnot, that sort of thing, before I actually talk about the album. So yeah, let's go all the way back to 2023, around November time. I was still at college. I decided to, write a song whilst I was drunk. And yeah, Luminous Clouds was the first track that came into my head. Had a really simple chord progression, C, D minor, E minor, F. Of course, that's pretty much the C major scale. But yeah, I love Luminous Clouds, but we'll talk about the actual song in a bit. But yeah, I recorded a demo at college. I think it sounds great. And well, I think it sounded great. And yeah, I pretty much only did like the intro and the first verse. I don't know. I might have done the whole track, I can't remember. But yeah, I recorded a bit of footage of me like working on the track on Instagram like ages ago. But yeah, that was the first song recorded for the album. Well, this is the first song I worked on. So yeah, so I got a little bit distracted there. But yeah, I wish I had the album in my hand. I want it to come out on CD, but yeah, hopefully it will, and yeah, I'll let you know when it does. So yeah, it was meant to be a solo project. Then I was like, let's start a band. That would be a great idea. The Beams of Light. I tried getting some of my friends from college, too, exactly, but because, yeah, one of them was too busy. Yeah, she was focusing more on work, and then my other friend, I don't know, he was like sort of on and off. He wants to be in a band, but at the same time, like, my group was more of a pop band. He likes bands like Nirvana and whatnot. But yeah, so yeah, I was having trouble finding people for the band. Like, a lot of people, a lot of my friends from college preferred like heavier, like rock, metal music. Don't get me wrong, I love rock. Queen are one of my favourite bands of all time. Genesis, they're prog rock. And yeah, I think Colours is quite a proggy album at times, especially 2 tracks in my opinion. So yeah. And anyhow, I recorded a few demos, by using the actual GarageBand app, using my phone for the keyboards and the drum programming and stuff. Sounded very synthy, but I didn't always want it to be that way, so I recorded a few songs, and then an idea came into my head. It was around, I can't remember now. So yeah, I had a few tracks. Half of them were about colours, half of them were just like songs I wrote out of the blue. No pun intended, that's actually going to be my next album. But yeah, what other songs did I write for the album? Red Confetti, that was one. That's one of my best songs, apparently. Jim Jam, no, that came later on, because I didn't even have Jim Jam then. Jim Jam's over there with the rest of my fish. So yeah, Luminous Clouds, obviously, that's the first song recorded. I think Colours, maybe, I don't know. Emerald Eyes, that was actually called Starry Eyes at first, but then I changed the name because, of course, the album, became a concept album. I wanted all the songs to be like based on the colours of the rainbow, or close enough. Heavens in the Deep Blue Sea, that was originally a track called All I Can See Is Blue. I think it was called Boy on the Beach at first, I know. And Indigo Storm, yes, that track was always meant to be. I love that song. Violet Stars, that song as well. Well, it's an instrumental, so yeah. And then Rainbow Sun, I think that came later on. And then Colours Part 2, that was just like yeah. It's sort of like the Lexicon of Love by ABC now. Side 2 starts off with Look of Love Part 1 and then ends with Part 4. Yeah, I know Part 2 and 3, well, Part 2 is just an instrumental version, I think, and I think Part 3 is pretty much the whole song but without the orchestra. I think, I could be wrong, but yeah. ABC, I definitely need to talk about that band more on this channel. I've only listened to their first album, but yeah, they've definitely given me some ideas, let me say. So, yeah. You know, I get influenced by things, and then like I realise that like and I've realised, you know, some of my ideas, you know, I'm not the only one who's came up with them ideas. Other bands have done them too, which, you know, coincidences, you know. I don't usually believe in coincidences, but you know, but that sort of thing, you know, it's different. You know, I come up with an idea, and then I feel really like, you know, I feel like I'm the only one who's came up with the idea, but then other bands have done it. I'm like, it's all right. And then, so yeah, very cool. Anyhow, for my 20th birthday, I got my MIDI keyboard. Just, you know, started re-recording the demos and stuff, and you know, and that's when my idea came into my head. You know, I wanted the album to be a concept album. I think I actually broke up the Beams of Light for a bit because no one was joining. So yeah, and then one of my friends, who I've known for a long time, Riley. Hi Riley, if you're watching this, yeah. He was like, I'm really interested in your group. Can I join? I was like, yeah, sure. And he was like, can I be a vocalist? I'm like, yeah, of course. And yeah, I had really high hopes for him. And yeah, I think overall he did a great job, you know. And, you know, we kind of agreed and disagreed on things, but, you know, that's just bands, innit? You know, line distribution and whatnot, you know. That's the whole point of being in a group, you know. And he like changed some of the lyrics, which I really appreciate that. And, you know, he's co-wrote some of the tracks, and yeah, it's really cool. But one of the tracks, I ended up having other people help me write the song, you know, in Indigo Storm, I know. But yeah, yeah, he got involved. We got in contact around June, July. Brought back the Beams of Light. I had someone else like in the band too, but unfortunately because of work, you know, he couldn't, you know, he couldn't make it, so that's a shame. But you know, it was just me and Riley, and then my other friend King Viper. Hi King Viper, if you're watching this, you know, he got involved with 2 of the tracks, you know, with the production. I think he's really good at production. You know, he doesn't play instruments. He's played a bit of piano in the past, but I think he's really good at it as a producer, and I really want him to help me produce my later music. So, yeah. And then recording began around September. You know, the demos were recorded from July to August, and then September was when the demos began. And well, the demos with the vocals, and yeah, it was still synths and stuff, and drum machines. You know, well, of course, I couldn't get like. Well, I really wanted real drums, but yeah, you know, I don't even know how to record real drums. I know which mics, but yeah, and because I've only got a little interface, yeah, actually, I'll show you what my interface looks like. This is a really different view. This is more of a history lesson of how colours came to be. Look at this interface. I love it, but it's only got one mic line, one instrument thing, plug-in, and then headphone jack. Direct monitor, which I use, and yeah. When did I get this? I got this for my birthday as well. Absolute beauty. So yeah, it only has like one instrument plug-in and one mic plug-in, but that's fine by me. That's all I need. When it came to me and Riley recording vocals, we usually recorded them individually and then, you know, kind of merged them together. And yeah, and then around Christmas time, luckily, I got all my guitar strings, you know. I got my guitar strings back on my guitar, so I could record electric guitar, record some like Alan Murphy-esque like sounding guitars. You know, Alan Murphy's behind me, if you've been watching this channel long enough. And yeah, got a new jack lead, recorded a lot of bass, and yeah, and then the album came out on the 17th of January 2025, the original mix, which I'm not massive on. The vocals are just too loud, and yeah, like, yeah. And then the album was remixed. I believe it was, let me try and remember. I think it was I think I released the remix version on the 27th of June. I think it was, yeah, it was. I could be wrong actually. Was it the 27th of June? No, it was the 4th of July. Yeah, the remix version came out on the 4th of July, and then from beginning to end, the remix version of my debut solo album came out on the 11th of July. I think. I could be wrong, but yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about the actual album itself. So, yeah, of course the album's called Colours. It's a concept album. So, of course, all the tracks are going to go from red to violet, and then the other tracks have to be colour involved. So, yeah. Let's begin with the first track. The first track is called Colours Part 1. Very atmospheric intro, I love it. I just came up with it randomly. I love the intro. I came up with all the synth sounds myself, just scrolling through GarageBand, finding which sounds would work well. And yeah, it has a very rainforesty sound. And then, like, you get the drums, the Roland TR-808 with the kick and the ride, and then the rim shot, and then the snare comes in. It's very jazzy, very Donald Fagen sounding. Yeah, IGY was a big influence on that track, and Level 42 was a big influence on this album too, especially albums like the debut, Pursuit of Accident, Standing in the Light, True Colours, a little bit. And yeah, you know how much I love Level 42. I mean, come on, I've got them down there and I'm seeing them in October. I know, like less than 3 months away. So yeah, 2 months now actually. We're getting close to August, so yeah. And the whole track is sort of like this jazz pop song. And then you get the bridge section, how's it go again? Indigo is like a merry-go-round, violet spins me round and round, nothing rhymes with orange, and then whoops, that bit, that's so cool. And then you get the instrumental part at the end, which is really cool. And also, I used this instrument as well. This is called a Juice Harp. I've had it for a couple of years. I've actually been playing it longer, but I had another one, but it didn't last long. But yeah, I think I played it too much. But this Juice Harp works really well. This is a way better Juice Harp, and yeah. Yeah, this is what I used for Colours Part 1, and yeah, I also used it on 2 End as well. Great instrument, very underrated. I used an SM57 mic to record all the instruments and, well, hang on a minute, sorry, I know, I keep getting distracted, yeah, I know. It's because, I haven't got a physical copy, so I've got nothing to look at, but yeah, I have to pretty much come up with everything in my head, this review, I know, but I know it's half a review, half a history lesson, but yeah, hope you're enjoying this review, and please like it if possible, and subscribe to me if you want to, but yeah. I believe this was the only instrument I actually recorded through an SM57. Of course, I plugged my bass and guitar into this. I'm not sure actually. I could be wrong. I think this was the only instrument I recorded with the SM57. I know. Actually, let me put my interface away. And my Juice Harp. There we go. Perfect. Right, next track, Red Confetti. I love this track a lot. Pretty much like a soul track. I love the guitar part. Really cool. I came up with the whole thing. I sing most of the vocals, but Riley sings the first half of a verse, which that's cool. And yeah, I love the song. The guitar solo at the end is pretty nice, and it's one of the only guitar solos on the album. I believe there's only 2, which I know, interesting. But yeah, Red Confetti or Red Confetti, I'm Keeping It All Beautiful song, first single released. I re-released it as a single with a new mix, which that version's done better than the original, and I love the song a lot, and one of my first ever productions when it comes to music, so very proud of that track. Next track is Jim Jam, which is like the second shortest track on the album. I love this track, it's about my fish, it's a cute track, cute pop song. The Lindrum sounds really nice, I love the bass line, very bouncy, very chromatic, especially at the end. Boom, 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 boom. The synth solo at the end's nice. You can hear me making fish noises at the end, that's cute. Something Queen would do, something like Seaside Rendezvous from Night at the Opera, or Delilah from Innuendo, which Delilah was a big influence on Jim Jam, so me and Riley kind of share vocals, in between, so that's nice. Fun track, I love it. It was the first track we recorded actually, as a pair, so that's really cool. And the last track I believe was The Rainbow Sun, which makes sense because that's the longest track of the album. 7 minutes, I know. But yeah, next track is Luminous Clouds, first track written for the album. I love the intro. I got inspired from Down and Out by Genesis, which that's a brilliant track. One of my favourite tracks from And Then There Were Three. I know Phil Collins isn't a fan of it, but you know, I love Luminous Clouds. It's just a catchy song. And yeah, I love it. I think our vocals work really well. The bridge sections are really nice, and I love the guitar parts. There is actually a rhythm guitar on the left part. It's kind of hard to hear because it's quite chill. You know, it's just going doo doo doo. Very strummy. Well, not strummy, but like very flamenco sounding for an electric guitar, I know. But yeah, I love Luminous Clouds, and yeah, really great track, very great single. Yeah, very great option. Yeah, a great song option for a single, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I love the synth solo at the end, which took one take, and yeah, it's pretty much just a C major scale, to be fair, and yeah, I love that track a lot, and yeah, Luminous Clouds gets a thumbs up from me. Next track is Emerald Eyes, which Riley was meant to sing most of the vocals, like, well, half and half, but I ended up singing it all. He only sings the sings backup vocals on it, which I think both of our vocals work really well, you know. I love Emerald Eyes, the intro and the outro. The outro is pretty much the intro, but in reverse. Beautiful song, I love it. The bass line is kind of simple, you know, pretty much following the kick drum, and yeah, I love this track a lot. I've started to prefer it more, and Riley likes it a lot more now. And yeah, I love it. Just a beautiful song, I guess. So yeah. Right, so that's pretty much the first half of the album, or side one. If it comes out on vinyl, that'll definitely be side one, and then side two starts off with Heavens in the Deep Blue Sea. Well, it would do, but yeah, on CD, of course, you can fit like 70 minutes onto a CD. Well, not even that. I think about, I'm not sure how much can you put onto CD, like 75 to 80 minutes. I'm not sure, but yeah. Yeah, so side two starts off with Heavens in the Deep Blue Sea. Very catchy track, one of my favourites, one of the best tracks I recorded. I love the bridge section, I sing it, and yeah, it's brilliant. And yeah, I think it's a very like upbeat funk song. I love it. The intro is great with the wavy sound, and yeah, it's got a very summery sound to it. You know, definitely reminds you of summer. You know, being near the sea, being on a beach. You know, it's a beautiful song. I love it. I think the lyrics are great, and yeah, I wrote pretty much every track, but Riley changed some parts, which I really appreciate that, so thank you, Riley. Next track is An Indigo Storm, probably my favourite track on the album. Pretty much started off with the supporting cast piano, which I love that sound. I use it pretty much on every track. I love it. You know, the bass line comes in, the drums come in. Very Phil Collins sound in the drums. You know, it's just a kick and the snare, and you get a crash in there, like at the start of every chorus. Oh, I love this track a lot. So atmospheric, so cool. Like a pure synth rock track, I love it. And the guitar parts are great too. And yeah, I'm very proud of this track. And yeah, and thank you to the 4 other songwriters on this track. So yeah, thank you very much for helping me with this track. And yeah, if it weren't for you, then this track would have just been empty, and yeah, it wouldn't have any lyrics. So yeah, this was planned to be an instrumental, by the way. But the next track ended up being an instrumental instead, which is, the next track is Violet Stars, which, I love this track a lot now. It's like this, like, rock disco-esque track. I know, it's really weird, but I love it. The intro's great. The synths are quite spooky. I love that, very spooky sounding, yeah. And then you get the drum machines. I used I used the synth bass. It's the only track on the album that doesn't have a real bass guitar, so fair enough. I couldn't really come up with a bass line, but yeah, the guitar part's pretty cool. Very kind of similar to An Indigo Storm. You know, it's pretty much just D minor. And then you can hear me and Riley whispering Violet Stars towards the end, and yeah. And that kick drum, like, at the end is more like heavier than the rest of like in the kick drum in the rest of the track. So yeah, I turn the velocity up, which yeah, that really helps. And yeah, very intense ending. So yeah, it's just done, and that's it. I love this track a lot. It was meant to be a lot longer, but then I sped up the track, and yeah, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere with this. This track's more enjoyable, and yeah, it's sort of like a Peter Gabriel-esque track, you know, like We Do What We're Told, that sort of thing. But yeah, the next track is Rainbow Sun, which might be my second favourite track on the album. Oh, I love this track, so atmospheric. Pretty much started off with the intro, A flat, B flat minor, D flat and E flat, so atmospheric. Supporting cast piano comes in, my vocals come in, and yeah, and then Riley's vocals come in, and yeah, it's just beautiful. The harmonisation in the chorus, you know, the rainbow sun, oh, just gorgeous. And then that bridge section that Riley sings, that's great. And you have a little bit of guitar in there. Kind of reggae sounding a little bit, but still pretty much a prog pop song. So yeah, I got inspired from tracks like Man Man Moon from Trick of the Tail, and Wallflower by Peter Gabriel from his fourth album, Security, which, well, that's what they call it, that's what it's called in the US, but yeah. That might be my favourite Peter Gabriel album, actually, but we'll save it for another day. But yeah, Rainbow Sun, beautiful track. It's nearly 7 minutes long, I know. Very proud of that. Pretty much a prog track. And then, well, is it my favourite track? No, well, the last track on the album, the track that pretty much closes the album is Colours Part 2. Is it my favourite track? I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting, you know. Pretty much the same sounds from Colours Part 1. And you get a harmonic from the bass, you know, that's pretty cool, and a bend as well, which is very nice. Just a pretty cool album close, I think, something different. And yeah, you know, it's short, simple, you know, not much going on, and yeah, pretty cool way to end off the album, I guess. So yeah, I'm very proud of Colours, I think. Yeah, you know, the production, yeah, especially on the new mixes, you know, which I've kept on YouTube, by the way. I really like the production is like really good in my opinion, and yeah, and you know, definitely sounds like an 80s album. Doesn't sound like an album that'll be made today. Sounds like an album that'll be made like 1984, 1985, that sort of thing. But yeah, I love this album a lot. I play most of the tracks quite a lot, especially the non-singles. But yeah, my favourite single is probably Heavens in the Deep Blue Sea. I just think it's a catchy song, and the bridge section's just brilliant because I sing it. But yeah, I think Riley has done a great job too on the vocals, and yeah, he did help with the production quite a bit, and King Viper did as well, you know. Let me know if something was too loud or too quiet, so thank you guys. And yeah, it's a shame we were pretty much a one, what's the term? One and done band. We're one of them one and done bands, which we only released one album, yeah. We were planning on making another album, but we decided to call it quits, and yeah, we had a name change. Our name was Direct Nation for a bit, but just changed to Beams of Light because pretty much the name change was pointless now. And yeah, I'm a solo artist now, so yeah, we've all moved on, and yeah. But yeah, King Viper will be definitely helping me with, you know, my next few albums, and yeah, hope my music career goes well, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to release my music on other platforms, and yeah, I'm just sticking to YouTube for now, playing it safe, and yeah, I think I'm doing a very good job at the minute. So yeah, from beginning to end came out literally like less than 3 months after Colours, you know, because I had a lot of time, you know, like, it's so easy recording from home, and yeah, so yeah, in conclusion, Colours is a great album, you know, pretty much my only band project or group project from beginning to end, you know, onwards, you know, I'm pretty much just a solo artist now, and yeah, so yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this review of Colours. Well, it's been kind of a review, you know. I'm proud of all the tracks in general, but yeah, this was also like pretty much a history lesson as well. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the first part of this review and the second part just as much, you know. Been long, but you know, I've had to come up with everything in my head because I don't have the album on physical. It's not even been released yet, but you know. Anyhow, thanks once again, everyone, and yeah, next time I'll be reviewing from beginning to end. Also, I'll put a link to Colours in the description, and yeah, I think this album's definitely worth a listen, you know. Very experimental, you know. Lots of different, like, you know, music genres, you know, there's something for everyone in general. So yeah, definitely check out Colours. I'll leave a link to it in the description, like I said. And yeah, give the Beams a like, subscribe. Even though we're not active anymore, you know, a like on every song, and you know, if you could subscribe to us, that'd be great, you know. Just polite in it. So yeah. Anyways, take care, everyone, and I shall see you all next time in a bit, and bye bye.